Hey guys, in this video I'm going to explain how to develop apps and websites to improve your chances of getting into Ivy League schools. And ultimately this is not really to get into Ivy League schools as much as it is to build up your resume and improve your career and get opportunities that you would not get otherwise. And just an added benefit is that it looks really impressive to develop apps and websites and projects and code things that are actually functional and that are helpful and solve people's problems. And whenever I'm editing people's essays for college applications or med school applications or grad school applications, I really love reading these types of essays where somebody has worked on a passion project and developed something that actually becomes useful for other people to use. So the first thing is to start with the basics. And before you can even start developing apps, you need to learn some of the fundamentals of Java, Python, practice coding, basic algorithms, functions, like for loops, while loops, if statements, things like that. Those are all really important for you to kind of start understanding. And one way that you can do that is by taking online courses and just start out with a very basic course to explain all of those things. It takes a long time to actually get all the setup on your laptop, all set up, downloaded, all those things, all the libraries that you need to download, all those things. So, just taking a week or so to get really comfortable with Java or Python is kind of important as a first step. Most people don't take that first step. It takes people years to do that first step of starting to learn. And so if you do that, then you're like already ahead of like 90% of the competition. Next thing is to take online courses and tutorials. There's plenty of them that are for free. I've talked about them at length on this channel, like MIT OpenCourseWare, Udemy, things like that, Code Academy, Udacity, Udemy, and these are all popular platforms, but these courses really cover a lot of information, like the entire app development process from ideation to deployment. And so you can take one of these classes, and a lot of times at the end of these classes, they offer projects for you to kind of follow along and develop something and actually, publish it to the real world, put it on the App Store, things like that. And so by taking these online courses, you're really getting ahead of a lot of other people. Next thing is to practice with sample projects. So start looking at problems in your life, like maybe a problem in my life that I wanted to code was I was having these long medical school PowerPoints and I wanted to make them into flashcards, but it was taking me so long to make every single thing into a flashcard, and I kind of wanted to automate the system of something that went through these PDFs and made flashcards out of them. And so that was kind of a simple project for me to get started on and learn how to code while doing that. But if you want to develop like a calculator or to-do list or like build the game for checkers, that's something that I started with. Those are all like really fun things to do to kind of get started with coding. Next thing is starting to get involved in coding communities. So get involved in like Stack Overflow. There's tons of great projects on there. Get involved in GitHub. Start looking at people's code. Start getting feedback on your own code, and maybe find potential collaborators to work on projects with. Those are all really great resources because there's so much value online, and you can basically get a college degree online without paying a single cent. And so, if you get ahead and kind of learn these basic skills, college is just going to be so much more valuable to you because you've already developed the fundamental understanding of computer science to start building projects and developing them and pushing them out to the world. Okay. My younger brother, he attended a ton of hackathons that really, really built up his skills, developed his network, helped him showcase his talent, and ultimately became really good stories to write about in essays, because hackathons are basically these like 12-hour, 24-hour events where you just work with a team of a couple of people and you're able to develop a project that answers or solves a certain problem. And your goal is actually to publish that solution and actually make it a viable solution for other people to use in a very short amount of time. So one of the projects that my brother worked on for a hackathon was developing this algorithm that will look at street cameras and see if there was a car accident and notify a local police station. And he actually got that all to work. And so he just had to make a video that explained how it works, what a user has to do, and things like that. And so obviously he wasn't able to do all of it by himself. He worked with a team, and then they had to like look on GitHub and get a lot of data, and then kind of like fix the code and fix it to solve their specific problem. And it really, really was an impressive essay that he ended up writing that helped him get into a lot of programs, but it's just because he was able to do these hackathons. Okay, the next thing you want to do is kind of build a portfolio, right? Now that you've done a couple of hackathons, now that you've learned the basics, now that you've taken a couple of courses, you want to really like build your portfolio of apps or websites or things like that, and link it to your GitHub. Make like a personal website and link a couple of projects you've worked on. Include a brief description of each app. It can just be like one sentence or two sentences, and just write a short like paragraph. Kind of be like a blog, but it can just share what you learned from building the app or website, some problems that you encountered, the solutions that you had, what you learned, how you developed as a coder. Like even Medium, writing on Medium, which is a blog, and explaining what you learned from building each project. That's a really great way to kind of build your portfolio. But you wanna kind of share online what you're learning. Okay, the next thing is that you kind of want to figure out how you can use these apps in your college application. And if you've developed it, then you're already ahead of 99% of the application. You just want to highlight what you've learned throughout the story of building these apps, how you use creativity, technical skills, entrepreneurial spirit to figure out problems, to figure out solutions, and to actually deploy these apps and websites. Okay, so this is an example of like what you could do. It's like just start learning by Python or Code Academy's Python class. Go to an online course. Try Udacity's iOS app development with Swift. You could do like a sample project of a weather app that displays current temperature and forecast in your location. You can join a GitHub community to find open source projects to contribute to. You can attend a local hackathon. These are examples. And then you can your portfolio can link to the things that you worked on. So if you've worked on a study timer app or a recipe finder app, those are things that you can include in your portfolio. And then finally, you can write your college essays where you display your unique personal projects and highlight them in your college application, and then help other high school students sort of organize their extracurricular activities. And like a mobile app that helps other high school students organize their extracurricular activities. But ultimately, you just kind of want to use this to highlight your skills and your development and your projects that you've done to get you to the place you are. And I hope that this was helpful in kind of explaining the steps that you have to take to develop apps and websites as a high school student, and use it to improve your chances at getting into really top tech programs at colleges. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. If you need essay editing for your essays for college, I'm really happy to provide that. There's a link down below. And if this was super helpful, feel free to subscribe and support the channel. And see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.